The mystery of the cage under the tree. In a small, quiet village, there was a giant old tree that stood at the edge of the forest. The tree was so tall that its branches seemed to touch the sky, and its roots were as thick as a rope. Everyone in the village loved the tree, but there was one thing about it that no one could explain. A rusty old cage sat right under it. No one knew where the cage came from or who had put it there. It was big enough to hold a small animal, and its door was slightly open, creaking every time the wind blew. The villagers never paid much attention to it, but one curious boy named Leo decided he wanted to solve the mystery. One sunny afternoon, Leo packed a small bag with a sandwich, a notebook, and a flashlight and walked to the tree. He sat near the cage, looking closely at it. Why would someone leave empty cage under a tree? He wondered. Just then, he heard a soft rustling sound from the bushes behind him. Out hopped a tiny brown rabbit with a big, curious eyes. It sniffed the air and then hopped right up to the cage. To Leo's surprise, the rabbit gently nudged the cage door open with its nose and disappeared inside. Leo held his breath. Was the cage magical? He kept closer and peeked inside. The rabbit wasn't trapped at all. Instead, it had curled up on a pile of soft grass inside the cage, as it were a cozy little home. Leo smiled. So that's why the cage is here, he whispered. It's not a trap, it's a shelter. Just then, an old man with a long white beard walked up. He was the village storyteller, Grandpa Amos. He chuckled when he saw Leo's eyes. Ah, you have found the secret of the cage, Grandpa Amos said. Many years ago, a kind traveler left this cage under the tree for animals who needed a safe place to rest. Over time, the wood and leaves covered it. The people forget its purpose, but the animals, they never forget. Leo beamed with excitement. He had solved the mystery. From that day on, he visited the tree often, bringing fresh hay, water, and even small treats for the animals. The villagers, once curious about the cage, now understood its purpose and helped take care of it too. And so, the old cage under the tree remained not as a prison, but as a heaven, a tiny home for little creatures who needed a safe place to rest.